Thank you, Director Santos, for being here today. As the Census Bureau notes on its website, our founders included the decennial census in the Constitution to, quote, empower the people over their new government, end quote. To achieve this, each person must be counted so that reapportionment can proceed and give each state the proper number of representatives in the House and the proper number of votes in the Electoral College. It's concerning then that the 2020 Census post-enumeration survey found that certain states had statistically significant overcounts and certain states had undercounts. Can you explain how these undercounts tended to harm red states and the overcounts tended to benefit blue states?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. I'll start by saying that we are a nonpartisan federal statistical agency, and we strive for perfection, although it can never be achieved. As I said earlier, we use the best methods, the best science, the best data, the best trained people and experts in order to carry out a decennial census.
So you're telling us that, but what assurances do we have that the Census Bureau didn't try harder to find people to count in the states that saw overcounts? What proof do you have that that did not happen?
We have the proof of independent assessments by places like the National Academies, by the Government Accounting Office, and our own extensive data gathering and quality analyses that demonstrate that we followed protocol in the midst of a pandemic. And so we are confident that we did the best possible job, and we're very proud of the job that we did for 2020.
But it is rather unusual that this census in 2020 had such a deviation from past censuses. Is that not correct?
Thank you for that question. Interestingly, it was almost unusual that in 2010 there was no statistical significantly different coverage estimates for all 50 states. Most censuses have some states that end up being overcounted and some being undercounted. It is a byproduct of any process, any manufacturing process. No manufacturing process is perfect.
So for the 2030 census, have you identified ways to minimize any overcount and undercount? What are you going to do in the new census?
Thank you very much for that question, Congresswoman. We take the role of counting everybody only once and in the right place incredibly seriously. We not only conduct the post-enumeration study, which you've cited in the statistics on over and undercounts of states, but we have several other assessments. We have a demographic analysis. We have administrative record checks and so forth. And what we're doing is we're identifying the populations that require additional attention. It turns out that I'd say about 60% of the nation's population is relatively easy to count because they self-participate. The balance tend to be individuals that represent historically undercounted people, and so we are focusing our attention to engage, to create better participation among those populations.
Will you be using new technologies such as artificial intelligence in the 2030 census, and how will those technologies be tested to make sure they provide accurate results and do not open new pathways for error?
Thank you for that question. That is a very important question. We see and have been using artificial intelligence and machine learning in many of our operations for years. We have quality checks that assure that egregious errors do not occur. And we typically use the AI and machine learning to create efficiency and effectiveness by leveraging administrative data, by reducing the efforts in coding, in softwares, and creating better systems.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Askin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.